So here's how I scaled my agency without being completely stuck in delivery. Now, this is probably the thing that stopped us from growing bigger and faster, is because I was always part of some level of delivery. So what I started to look at is, number one, I did something called a time study, right? So I'd keep a record of every 15 minutes. I'd look at what activity I was doing, whether that was a business activity, whether it was strategic, whether it was admin stuff, whether I was sleeping at the time, like whatever the thing was, 24 hours a day for 7 days, and then I'd see where that time went. After that, then I'd reassess the time, I'd do different stuff, I'd figure out like where I could create more leverage and where I could go and hire people to go and fix those other things for me. Then I would look to try and bring in smart people. One of the biggest kind of regrets that I had was trying to bring in people to do things that I didn't like doing, but they weren't necessarily as good at doing them as I could do them. But I wasn't bringing in smarter people than me, probably because of my own ego at the time. So they were good at some things, but I didn't go and replace enough of those skill sets that I had to really take myself out of delivery and fulfillment. Now, we still grew the agency to 7 figures a year and grew it with very, very high margins. And one of the things I learned with that is go and find really smart people. And finding smart people isn't always easy to think, because some people seem smart on the front but not necessarily on the side. And one of the best ways I found hiring strategic thinkers, rather than just asking them a series of questions in an interview, literally really talking about the business for like a couple of hours and like starting to solve a problem, because you'll see how they solve a problem in those situations. I've got a head of retention right now that's come into the business, and she's fantastic. She just literally hit the ground running straight away, and our first call was like over 2.5 hours of just walking through the business and breaking everything down step by step. It wasn't like I spent a little bit of time asking her some questions about previous roles and stuff like that, but it was more about kind of like, does she have the chops to actually help? Same with our director of operations, same kind of thing. When you're hiring those strategic roles, that's just super important.